ain't on the road is because I'm going to be on the road with nobody that's going to snitch. So we going to skip past it. But let's just say that, it was bad. It ended in, a gun being pulled on somebody. Ooh. And it was like we did not get in the music business for this. And,
Did it affect y'all career moving forward from that point?
Nope, because we were so hot, honestly, that we were on the road, on tour, doing radio, everything. And literally, and I love Martha. Shout out to Martha, from Island Black Music back in the day. It's like my other mom. And, she was, I remember, I think we were in the Bahamas somewhere or something. And she showed up, and we loved Martha. And she was standing out in front of the hotel, and we just had to be like, Martha, we can't talk to you. And it's not personal, like we love you, but we were in the middle of a lawsuit and everything, and they thought that they were going to be able to shut us down. Yeah. But it was just like, man, the power of feelings and human emotion. You can't put any words to it. So we connected with people because our fan base, really, in the beginning, were people that couldn't even afford to buy our records. Like, I used to go into the record store and there'd be a bunch of kids, and I'd buy all the singles and give them to people. So, it's like we connected with people in a different way. And I think for a lot of reasons, the emotion that we brought, we came in right. It's funny, if you go back and look at the Eddie soundtrack, Jodeci's last single was on the same album as our first single. Wow. So, we came in at a good time, where people, they needed that. And, I don't regret anything that happened. I got new hostilities. I don't have any old ones, because at the end of the day, I got a chance to learn the business. And some of this stuff is just what it is. And it's like, if you don't want it to be that way, get a good lawyer. Stop getting managers before you got something to manage and figure out this business. Because once you in the contract, just like somebody decided to tell me when we was having a personal conversation, oh, but I got a contract. Oh, you did? Well, I got a house. I'll be there.
More with Nokio coming up right here. Got to give you your props. I want to give you your flowers now. They always say you get them when you can't smell them. I want to give them to you now. What is your status right now? The Unsung came out yesterday, somewhat enlightening. But what is your status with Drew Hill right now? Are you in the group, a part of the group? Where are you? Right now, I'm home. And just like I told Cisco and Kevin, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm like, I'll probably retire. But I'm not sure. So, it's just a thing where it's like, don't pressure me to give you an answer right now. Just like, let me go home and, build my family and kind of get out of the mindset that I've been in for the past almost 30 years and, kind of reset. And, I don't really make emotional decisions and I'm not a reactionary person. But it's like... Was there a breaking point? Is there a breaking point that happened that you got this epiphany that you might need to sit down for a minute? No, I mean, it's... If you let anybody else tell the story, they want to point to something that ain't even really a thing that just happened. But the reality is that it's been a problem since the 90s. It's like in 99... I mean, at the end of the day, like, I was the last person to leave in 99. After everybody, Yeah, because this is like the third generation of Drew Hill right now, yeah. Like, after everybody, left management and, Cisco went to do his thing, like, I was the last person rolling. And it just came to a point where it was like, man, at the end of the day, I don't want to do business anymore because I want us to be friends when all this is over with. So I'd rather just stop it now. So, everybody go, we can go do whatever we got to do. And later on down the line, if it's going to come back, it could come back good. But at the end of the day, what happened was, I'm figuring somebody got broke or went broke, whatever you want to call it. Not you, though. No, came and sued us. Your pen is too fire for that. Came and sued us.
the settlement was us working together, but you ain't bring back no new knowledge. So it's like we just back in, it was like right back in the same circle of what was happening in the beginning. And I mean, like, I love these dudes. Like, these are my brothers for real. But at the end of the day, it's like,
that business gotta be right.
I got a song I did, and it was like, Lord willing, I make it, because I got to leave my brother like the Clips with no malice in it.
Ooh.
And it's just like, everybody know me, I'm quiet or whatever, but I know this business. And I got taught this business by the greats. Like, they groomed me. They brought me in, and they said, look, I remember sitting in a car, and it was an OG in the car, get in the car, and he looked at me and said, Russell said you the next one at the Puffy. And I was like, I can ask you a question? And he was like, what? I was like, so when you talk about, like, the point that you reach where, like, you protect it, I was like, is that what's happening right now? He was like, yeah, you good for the rest of your life. So,
because a lot of people might not know, well, a lot of people do, that you were also an A&R man. You A&R Trey Songz's second album.
Yeah, I
wrote a couple of joints for Rough Ends, kicked off a lot of
DMX, Foxy Brown,
people's careers.
Eve. Like, it's crazy. And I mean, honestly, just for real, I would have did more back then. But to be totally honest, and like, ain't nobody gonna sit in the room with me and tell the truth for real. I used to have to worry about whether or not the group wasn't gonna be able to do nothing because I did a song for somebody else. So, I did Jack Thriller's show. Then he asked me a question, and I was like, man, when you're on the team, you're always doing something you don't want to do, basically. And I always roll with the team.
Sacrifice for the collective.
I roll with some of the dumbest in the world because that's my team. And I'm going to fight my team. You ain't going to do nothing to my team.
So speaking of the team, let me interject. Are you going to be a part of the 25th anniversary, the book, and the biopic?
Well, I mean, the book I had already started. So,
Your own book?
No. The
group book.
The group book.
Okay.
Like, that was already started.
Okay.
Before all or whatever. So, that's what it is. The biopic, yeah, because I signed a contract. You know what I'm saying? To be a part of it. I'm not. I'm a businessman. I'm not going to, just go disappear and be sitting on an island looking like James Bond or something, some beautiful woman and drinking drinks and stuff like that. No, I'm going to get to the business. We're going to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say if BET want, holler at me about some stuff that ain't in the book that I didn't put in there because, honestly, nobody was there for it, and I wasn't going to let nobody make no money off my life when I was suffering and nobody cared about what was going on. I was at this dark point. Like, hey, why? So, you got that. And I mean, honestly, I'm going to tell you as real and North Avenue as I can. I don't want to not be on the road. But I'm not going nowhere where Kevin Peck is, period.
And who is Kevin Peck?
The guy that's been with us from the beginning. And I love him. So I don't need nobody calling him out with it. I love him as my brother, but we can't.
But you
do
just
business.
don't want to do no business with
him. We
him.
can't do business. And if I said it 20 years ago, and you ain't learned nothing, you got us in the same positions. Why?
So that's all you asking for is a new business perspective.
I can go on the street if it really came down to it and make more money than I make out here.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, when I got my kids needing stuff, I got my family looking at me, and I got people, I swear to God, when I told people that I was going, it's people that I know that started crying and said, I've been praying for you to leave that situation. Nobody ever wanted me to come back and do Drew Hill. And Man, look.
We here for you, No. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell y'all something, man.
This real.
Your brothers supposed to look out for your life. And when you realize that you're around some people that ain't going to protect you, it's time to go. And that's it. And it took me 4 months to stop being upset every day. And it took me 4 months to stop want to hurt somebody because I'm like, you making me walk away from what I created because you don't want to go home and you ain't in the group and you don't sing. So when the decision came down to it, Kevin was more important than me being on the road. So I went home. So I hope he know my notes, and I hope he up there dancing, because as long as he out there, I ain't never coming back unless I got everybody with me. And I mean, bring Woody, Scola, Jazz, and everybody else. We're going to be 8 is enough up there. That's the only way I'm doing it. And he got to go home. And the crazy thing is, he told me he would. And this was a personal conversation that he turned into business and ran behind a bunch of people. I wanted to work it out between us. You throw a lawyer in my face, the same lawyer that, come on, man, you doing too much, dude. I mean, like, if you know me since I'm 14 years old, you scared to be in the room with me and talk?
So it's as simple as getting back to basics, just you and the guys.
It's just, yeah, man, because it's like, I'm not like, all right, look. What do I look like listening to somebody that ain't did a quarter of what I did in this business? You ain't been in no record company working nowhere. Ain't nobody gave you no millions of dollars to possibly mess up. So how can I let you run my life? It don't make sense. And you don't want to go nowhere knowing that you will sit around and let stuff not happen because you don't know what to do rather than go get help. I'm going home. When I got to sit around and tell my kids what's going on, because I don't know if these goofy is going to put something online that have me looking crazy, I got to go home. And you're not going to tell the truth. You're not going to tell the truth. So I'm going to tell the truth. And I ain't even telling the whole truth because that part ain't got nothing to do with nobody. But I'm not going to be nowhere near no microphone with them unless he go home. And I could bring everybody back.
Well, there it is. Can we give a round of applause one time for Noke in the building, speaking his truth? We appreciate you coming with nothing but facts.
I really, like, if it wasn't Kel's,
wow.
I wasn't going to say nothing. So, when he told me it was you, I was like, oh, man, it would be like, look.
We go so way
you know what I'm
back.
saying? Like,
I appreciate you opening up like that.
No, man, because it's like, would you leave your kid somewhere just for whatever reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain stuff you do, man, and that word brother gets used too much. And it's phony because how can you be a brother when you don't even know how to be a person, when you don't know how to be a real human being, when you can't connect to human emotion and understand it? And watch a person that's suffering, that's asking you to get out my face so I can heal, and you going to tell me you ain't going home? Man, look, I hope you know all the songs, boy.
We're going to leave it at that. We got the Fix Mix coming up next. DJ Kenny K. Nokio, I love you, baby.
I love you too,
I'm going to pray
man.
for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing some new music from you.
I ain't never going to stop doing music, and I want to be there. I want to be there, and I want everybody to be there, but I ain't going to be nowhere that don't make no sense.
Well, we glad you here.
That's
right
right.
Here, 95.9.
Go get me a chicken box.
Yeah.